This is a vehicle that I've been chasing for over a year. Brand new 2023 Lexus LX600. Ever since Lexus redesigned it for 2022 model year, it was nowhere to be found. So I'm super excited today because thanks to Lexus of Sarasota, I'm going to be able to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to check it out, starting from the exterior, engine, interior, the test drive, the whole 9 yards. If this is the first time we meet, my name is Matt here. I'm Matt the Carguy. I post 2 car reviews every single week. If that's something that interests you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now let's get back to this. Believe it or not, the Lexus LX has been in Lexus's lineup since 1995, and alongside its sibling Toyota Land Cruiser, it has been one of the most capable luxury go-anywhere vehicles. It has been redesigned several times, and for 2022, Lexus introduced this current generation model of the LX. So I'm super excited to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. Let's start with the front end of it. Take a look at this hood, how nicely sculpted it is, with this huge indent right in the middle here for better aerodynamics. If you can even say better aerodynamics, looking at the shape of this vehicle, it's square as it can be, but looks very nice, muscular and athletic right here. We have this triple beam LED headlights with the daytime running lights down at the bottom here, looking like this, a lightning strike. And then scrolling down all the way down here, there's a set of LED fog lights. You have this open space for better aerodynamics, and then you have this massive grille that's open, basically allowing all that air that you need to get inside, help with the cooling and aerodynamics of this engine right here. Lexus logo, front view camera, and then you have this matte black plastic down at the bottom. Right above here you have this polished aluminum trim. Looks really solid on this vehicle. I know you probably don't see that color very well, but it's called the manganese luster, and it looks like the liquid metal. Looks absolutely amazing. Now the biggest change for this year, or for last year when they redesigned it, is what's underneath the hood. Let's take a look. Underneath the hood of this year's Lexus LX, we have 3.4 liter V6 turbocharged engine, 409 horsepower, 479 foot-pounds of torque. Now this is a pretty similar setup as we've seen on the non-hybrid Toyota Tundra, so I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen some kind of a hybrid version maybe coming up in the next year or so. Now this was mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, delivering power to all 4 wheels. And I do like this engine setup right here. Look at this, typical Lexus, like nothing is out of place, everything is nice, clean, and organized. Underneath the hood here you have sound insulation, hood struts right here, and I'm super excited to take it for a spin at the end of this video. Let's talk a little bit about the segment that this vehicle competes in. So in my opinion, they should actually separate this segment and divide it in 2, because a lot of people compare it to the BMW X5 and the Mercedes-Benz GLS, which is right. I mean, that's about the same size, but also they throw in the same bag vehicles such as Cadillac Escalade or the new Lincoln Navigator or Wagoneer, which are probably at least a foot longer than this vehicle. Now keep in mind, this vehicle is about 200.6 inches long, just about the same as the brand new Honda Pilot, so it's not a very long vehicle. We're going to see how much room it has inside, but before we get to it, let's take a look on the side. And I'm glad that Lexus stayed true to its core characteristics of the SUV. Very clean lines, very elegant. You can see this straight up hood. The fenders are a little puffed up, beefed up for better look, of course. And then you have those wheel arches that are squared off. They're also painted in the same color as the rest of the vehicle. This vehicle is equipped with the adaptive suspension with height control, so that means you can lower and heighten this vehicle depending on what kind of driving you're doing. It also does it itself when selecting a certain drive. Check it out when we're on the interior. 22-inch rims. I do like the look and the color of them. Fit very nicely with the rest of this vehicle. 265 by 50 on the 22-inch rim. That's what we have as far as the tires. Now I have the F Sport badging because that's the model that I have for you today. And quite frankly, I'm surprised that Lexus didn't go with the power running boards, but maybe that's due to the chip shortage. Now looking up on top here, you do have this low profile roof rail that's dressed in this polished metal color. Now they have the bright chrome surrounding the windows with the blacked out pillars. Same color mirror as the rest of the vehicle with the turn signal indicator, blind spot assist, and the camera right in here. And of course you do have the keyless entry on all 4 doors. As long as the key is somewhere on, you don't have to push on the buttons on to lock and unlock, and as you can see doing that right now, an exposed keyhole in case you run out of the battery. And if you look at the very back of it, you see that this back end is really straight down. So we'll see how much room it has once we get on the interior. Here in the back, you'll see a straight down gate, basically. I like this tailgate spoiler with the third brake light. Kind of wish that the wiper was hidden underneath here. Lexus is spelled out right in the middle, and you have this huge, very bright LED taillights. Love the light. This portion illuminates at night as well, so kind of giving you that characteristic light signature on the vehicle. You do have the rear view camera LX600 over here. Let's talk about a little bit about the bumper at the bottom. This is all this matte black to prevent it from scratching. No visible exhaust whatsoever. You do have the reflector and backup lights here, and underneath here you do have a tow hitch. Now this vehicle equipped with the tow hitch can tow up to 6,000 pounds. As you can see, the gate can be opened one of several different ways. One of them is waving your hand or foot or something underneath here to get it open. Then of course you can do it from the remote or from the inside of the vehicle. It opens nice and tall. Let's see how much room we have. So as you can see, it is a very tall opening, and it's wide too, so definitely as far as the cargo space with the third row seats folded down, there's no issue whatsoever. This is a lot if it was a 5-seater vehicle. Now if you fold up the seats, it could be a different story. Now of course the middle seats fold down as well, and I wish there was somewhere here. Now they have the power adjustments for the third row seats, but not for the second row seats. I think with the vehicle this size, I can't reach in here. I'd have to go around and fold it down. With this size, they should have been another set of buttons to open this up. Anyways, let's move those seats, third row seats up, and let's see what changes there. This is not a one touch. You have to hold it. Surprisingly. Anyway, so this is how much room you're left with if the third row seats were up. So you need something on top of the vehicle, maybe a trailer or another vehicle that follows you if you're going on the trip and there's more than 5 passengers here. Unfortunately, you can definitely use that extra, 6 inches or foot of room in here, that's for sure. So what else do we have in this cargo space? You have the illumination here, you have the regular AC 120 volt power outlet. Let's see if I can fold it down. This is not one touch. You have to hold it up. All right. Well, we're going to see what we have underneath this floor here. But I think it's just a little bit more of a cargo space. Just a tiny little bit more. Well, it looks like we have this emergency triangle. Or this is a tire storage instruction. So the tire should be right underneath. And yep, it is. So the spare tire is right here. And then you also have your hookups for the trailer. And the gate can be open and closed, by waving your foot underneath it, even though it didn't do it because it sensed me that I'm there. Now in the third row seats, you have your cup holders, you have your adjustments for the recliner, you have your own vents, light. That's the back of it. Here in the back, you definitely can feel that this is not a super large SUV. Now I have this seat adjusted to my regular driving position, and I am touching my knees to the backs of the seat. I'm 6 feet tall, I'm not super tall, and I wish there was a little bit more room in here. I do have, however, plenty of headroom and plenty of shoulder room. Now, unfortunately, the seats here don't move back and forth like on some of the competitors, which is another opportunity for improvement in my opinion. But the interior is absolutely beautiful. Let's check it out. Before we jump inside, let's take a look at the door panel here, and you can see red, right? This is the sport trim, the F Sport Performance Handling. I don't know if it would be my color of choice, but it looks pretty sporty, pretty nice. It's very plush, very Lexus-like. It does have a lot of different materials that are used. This is all soft plastic. You have some of the aluminum trim, shiny black. You have this red leather, and then you have a little bit more storage right underneath here. Now you also have Mark Levinson Experience, that 25 speaker stereo system, and a manual sunshade. Now I wish this was power at this price point. Let's jump inside. So you do have 3 seats right in the second row seat. They're nicely profiled. Now this color is not as aggressively red as it looked on the side of it. Well, maybe it's not that bad. I think I'd rather go with the bronze maybe, or something like this, but that's just me. Perforated and solid leather. Now you have right here an armrest with the cup holders. Press the button, cup holders open up. stow it away if you don't use it. You have a little bit of seat back pockets, and you have your own controls for the rear climate control. You have the heated and ventilated seats in the back, as well as all the adjustments that you need on this Lexus. Now, no panoramic sunroof. I'm not sure if it's available on the higher trim levels. This is very high, and that's not very cheap either. And I'm going to jump in the back seat, see how much room we have. All right, so you get in the seat through here, not bad. Let's close this up and see if I can actually fit in here. All right. Move the seat. This seat, as I told you, it's not adjustable, so it doesn't move back and forth. And surprisingly, I do have enough knee room, right? So I'm not touching my knees to the back of the seat, but my feet are so high up it makes it borderline uncomfortable. I'm also touching my head to the ceiling here, to the roof, so that's also could be improved. This is definitely not the biggest third row seat. It probably is smaller than some of the mid-sized 3-row SUVs, sadly, but I gotta tell you, what you have in here, you have your own vents, 2 vents actually, one here and one over here. You have your own reclining adjustment for this back seat, USB Type-C port, and not enough room, sadly. You have your own light too. And how do you get out? Well, the same way I get in, just the opposite. Jump inside. Before we do that, let's listen to the sound of the closing door. Boom. I closed so many of these doors, but Lexus has always come up on top. Now the front door panel basically is similar as the back one, except you have this really nice grab handle, Mark Levinson's reference, and then you have kind of tilted to the driver controls for your mirrors, window, and locks. You have the 3 memory seat setting, and then a little bit of storage right underneath here. When you jump inside, you're welcome to this F Sport badging, and then you have several different ways to control your seat. Now the seat, of course, they're not very sporty, but they're very comfortable. I gotta tell you, F Sport embossed right in the headrest. And let me jump inside, I'll show you the rest of this interior. Well, let's get this party started. There's tons of things going on this interior, lots of new technology. I'm excited to share this with you. Let's take a quick peek around the cabin here. So you can see this red and black color combination with the aluminum. You also have the same leather wrapped dashboard at the bottom, at the top. Very nice, very luxurious. You have this 12.3-inch screen with an additional 7-inch screen down below. You have this nice and sporty Lexus steering wheel. Let's start here with the steering wheel right here. So you do have some contrast stitching over here. Very nice quality leather, very nice to the touch. You have a bunch of buttons, and they are in this color like we've seen on that RX. This is not very shiny. I love that Lexus is using this versus the piano black. We have a bunch of controls over here. As you can see, volume control, up and down, okay, that controls what's going on in the instrument cluster. You have the back phone button, voice control, and on the right hand side you have your cruise control settings, as well as your media mode setting, and then switch back and forth. I like that this is kind of a satin finish on that Lexus badge, and the same thing you have on those pedal shifters in the back. Check out the instrument cluster right here. So the middle portion right there, this is all digital, but then you have the analog displays for the battery charging, fuel temperature for both oil and coolant. And then in the middle, you have this big tachometer around, and you have the speedometer displayed in the middle. 88 degrees outside, the vehicle's got 9 miles. You have the height control settings right over here and the gear indicator. Let's see what happens when we change the different drive modes. So here's what you have. You have the Sport S, Sport Plus, Custom, Normal, Comfort, and Eco. Guess which I'm going to be driving it. Let's put it in Sport Plus and see what happens. Well, it changes a little bit as far as the display. We're going to leave it in the Sport Plus mode, and then let's see what kind of customizations we have. So you can go through in the middle of the screen. You have your range, then you have your miles per gallon, blank screen, tire pressure, eco indicator, and then back to range. So not much customization as we've seen on some of the other competitors, but it is pretty cool looking. You also do have the head-up display right here. Not sure if you can see it. The head-up display is located right inside it, projecting the image onto the windshield. And this is the 12.3-inch main infotainment system. Now, we've seen it on pretty much all of the new Toyota and Lexus model. Very surprised that you have to subscribe at this price point, that you have to subscribe to the navigation system. That's not included. As far as your media, so right now we have the FM or RMF-FM, which is my Android Auto. That's playing in here. But as far as the sources, you have the Apple Music, Amazon Music, or the radio. And if you go through the radio, I'm gonna turn the volume down, and you have the AM, FM, Sirius XM. This is the upgraded 25-speaker Mark Levinson stereo on here. You have to trust me on it. I can't play any music, otherwise I get copyrighted, but it sounds absolutely amazing. Here's your phone connection. I do have my phone connected as far as the Android Auto. And look at this, it takes up the entire screen. Very nice. And then, of course, you can go to your main display for Android Auto. Look how nice and bright the colors are. I like it. Okay, we can go back to the regular Lexus screen. Go back to the vehicle. So we have the trip information, current and history. Talk about the gas mileage here, because this is a large SUV with a V6 engine. You have 17 in the city, 22 on the expressway. Combined is 19. So that's not a whole lot, especially that they have the hybrid powertrain on the Tundra that actually does a little bit better than that. Hopefully, maybe we'll see that in this vehicle as well. Go back here, vehicle alert, no alerts, and then as far as the settings, you have a lot of personal information, Bluetooth devices, notification, sound and media, vehicle customized. Let's see what that is. Lights, illumination, theme, silky white. All right, so it does have different themes in here, and I'm not sure if that refers to the interior, or if there's a lot of ambient lighting. I can't see it, maybe a little bit. All right, door control, boarding and exit, custom drive mode. Oh, that's where you adjust it. Your powertrain, power normal eco, suspension. It's got the adaptive suspension, sport, normal, comfort, steering. Oh, you can even adjust air conditioning to the drive mode, eco or normal. All right, we're gonna leave it in normal, especially in this weather right here. Now you also have, now this is basically your infotainment system. So you have your start stop button here, you have the power and volume control button, and this is basically where we at. Scrolling down here, you have another, like an auxiliary screen. This is a 7-inch screen, and that gives you a lot of vehicle information here. This is a touch screen too. So you have your climate control settings. Of course, you have the heated ventilated seats. You can adjust them either from here, or you can actually adjust them from here as well. Then you go back to the vehicle settings. Now it says brake accelerator. Now we have the low or high mode. We're in the Sport S Plus. Auto height control select, that's normal right now. And then you have your G meter. Yeah, we want to delete all the G monitors right now. I don't know what that is. Oh, this is the exit light, I think, and this is the height control. I'm going to turn that, leave that on, leave that all on. And then another one is your settings. All right, now I'm really curious. Now I really want to see the brightness of it. I really want to get this color screen off setting. Not sure what that is, but let's go back in here and let's see if anything changed as far as any illumination anywhere on the vehicle. I don't see any of the lighting. Down below you have your climate control settings. By the way, this is a 4-zone climate control. You have 2 in the front, 2 in the back, which is absolutely amazing. So you can set it to auto, off. You have your hazard lights, front window defogger, rear window defroster with the brake, with the mirror defroster, climate concierge. Not sure what that is, but I think it sets it up to the way that it wants to. Yep, and I'm gonna turn it off. There you go. And then you have those heated windshield wipers, basically, that heats up the area where the windshield wipers meets the glass. This is your drive mode select. Now we're going to leave it in the Sport Plus. We went through that. Multi-terrain select, basically. This is more of the off-road mode. The vehicle raises up. Now we'll go back to the drive mode. It lowers. Now you have the downhill assist and the crawl control. So if you are in a situation where you don't want to use your brake or throttle to control it, you just do that, and then the vehicle will go downhill on the steep terrain at a certain speed. All right, so you have your heated steering wheel, heated seats, ventilated seats. Okay, nothing too crazy, just a little bit storage area. You do have the USB-C, USB Type A. You have your gear shifter. Now you have the gear shifter with the manual mode in here, but you also have the pedal shifters on the steering wheel. I guess whichever one you prefer. And of course, oh, here it is. There's a little bit of this ambient lighting. Let's see if that changes. If I change the lights. We just moved it to green and it didn't change. Blue, how about blue? Well, maybe that's not for it. Well, right here you have the wireless charging for your phone, electronic parking brake, brake hold. You can lock your center diff. You can also turn off your traction control, and this is your height control. And then you can open up this storage compartment. This is your cool box too. Not only it's cool, but it's actually cooling too. So you can, I stick my hand in it, I can feel like the cold air blowing in here, so you can put some beverages down here and keep them cold. Turn that off. You can also open it the other way as well, which is very nice. Let's see, does it have the digital mirror? I didn't see the camera, so no, it doesn't have the digital mirror on this one. You have the light controls, and you have the sunroof control. As I mentioned before, this one has just a regular sunroof, no panoramic sunroof. And here's your Wi-Fi. You can turn that on or off. You have to subscribe to it, of course, and you have the illuminated mirrors for the driver and passengers. I do like the fabric for the headliner here. This is, I don't think it's an Alcantara, but it's very soft, very premium as well. Well, the interior is super cool. Let's see how it goes. Before we go for a ride, let's take a look at the Lexus website. Let's see what trim levels we have. So the base LX600 for 2023 has a starting MSRP of $92,160. The second one is the LX600 Premium with the MSRP of $100,110. It's a 7-seating configuration. It does have the adaptive suspension and the power rear door with the kick sensors. The LX600F Sport handling that I'm sitting in right now, it has the unique front and rear fascias, 22-inch rims, torsion limited slip differential. That starts at $106,370, and luxury is the next trim level. It has the semi-aniline leather trim, 25-speaker Mark Levinson steer, which we have on this one as well, 22-inch forged aluminum rims, and that starts at $108,110. And then there's the 2023 LX600 Ultra Luxury with the MSRP of $132,250. It does have a 4-seat configuration with massaging rear captain chairs, right rear recliner with sliding ottoman, and rear seat entertainment system. So I guess if you are only a family of 2 or 3 or 4, you can opt in for the most expensive one. Other than that, you have the 7-seating configuration on the one that I'm sitting in right now. Let's take it on the road. Right off the bat, I can feel the power of this vehicle. Even though this is not a V8, a lot of people get used to that 5.7-liter V8 they had in the previous generation one. It feels very similar to it, both the power delivery and the noise that's coming to the cabin, which, by the way, it's very quiet cabin. Take a look at the steering, the turning radius right here. Move it all the way to the left, and let's turn. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 parking spaces to turn this vehicle around. This is not bad. Now I am sitting in this F Sport handling, which is supposed to have the adaptive suspension that can adjust in the Sport Plus mode. I want to make sure that I am in the Sport Plus mode, Sport S mode, and I am. And we're gonna do some twists and turns. Oh. Okay, I'm not sure what the difference is, but it definitely still has that kind of boaty feel. It definitely moves quite a bit left to right as far as the cornering is. So the F-Sport suspension could be tuned a little bit sportier in my opinion. Well, we can see the off-the-line pickup here and then try the regular acceleration test on the road. It's actually a quick-moving vehicle, about 6.1 seconds 0 to 60. I'm gonna check it out once I take it on the empty road. But driving it around, it feels superior to a lot of other vehicles. Well, here, traffic merging right here. No problem whatsoever. For some reason, when I had it in the parking lot, that boaty feel was because the suspension was at all the way high. So let's see. Let's do it again. Yeah, it still has the body roll. It improved a little bit, but it still has some of that body roll, unfortunately. But I am at a full stop here, and I'm going to check out the acceleration 0 to 60 if you're ready. Let's go. Yep, 62 miles per hour. Not bad at all. The acceleration on the LX600 is definitely different than on the German competitors. It is quick, it's fast, 6.1 seconds 0 to 60 on the vehicle this size. It's very nice, but it feels different. You know, it doesn't shift as aggressively as the competitors, but it definitely delivers you in style and comfort. And this is all about the Lexus LX. It's a very capable vehicle. It can go off-road. It's very comfortable on the road. There's a couple of things that I would like improved on it. Obviously, the roominess in the third row seats. For any way they can extend that seat by a few inches, make it bigger, it would make a whole lot of difference. And if that means extending the entire length of the vehicle by another 5 inches, still would be smaller than the competition, but it would be so much more comfortable. It would also improve the cargo space, which, you know, it's almost non-existent with the third row seat up, so you'd have to rely on the top box carrier or something to that effect. Overall, it is a very comfortable, very luxurious vehicle. Like I said, there's a few things that I would like to see in addition. For example, a standard navigation system, which maybe it's included with the purchase, the subscription is. I'm not sure. I haven't found that anywhere. But as of right now, when I was playing with this, it asked me to subscribe to it. To me, it wouldn't be a big deal. I use Android Auto pretty much exclusively, even if I have the navigation. But I know a lot of people like to have the built-in navigation system in their vehicle, especially if they're spending $115,000 on it. In addition to that, I would like to see the controls for the rear seats to fall down the middle row seats somewhere in the back there. Maybe a power sunshade in the rear seats. That would be really something that you'd expect out of a vehicle that has a six-figure price tag. One more thing that I would like to check out before I take it back to the dealership, and that is the rear view camera. So let's take a quick peek while we're reversing. Nice. Big screen, trajectory lines, very nice and accurate. And you have the 360 view. How did I do? Pretty good, right, as far as parking. Now let's see what other camera settings we have. So we can have the top-down view for a trailer, let's say, or the wide angle. While we're here, you know, looked at the camera. One thing I didn't tell you about is this MTS button. Once I turn on that multi-terrain select, it gives me an option to go from MTS Auto, dirt, sand, mud, deep snow. So it adjusts the vehicle to the terrain conditions that you're in. There's another advantage over some of the competitors that don't have it. Like I said, this is the go about anywhere vehicle, and I can turn that off, and we'll go back to the regular drive mode. Leave it in normal, and let's take it back to the dealership. So overall, it is a very solid vehicle. It's always been. I've owned Toyota Land Cruiser. As a matter of fact, I've owned two of them, and I remember there was one year when I lived in Chicago, there was a snow of the century. We had, I don't know, 30, 40 inches of snow. And of course, me being me, I had to go to work even though nobody else showed up. I showed up, and that was in the Land Cruiser. And I remember I've seen Jeeps, Range Rovers, other kinds of vehicles stuck on the side of the road, and I managed to plow through it and get to my destination. So I have no doubt that this is a very capable vehicle as far as on and off the road. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate every single view. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, there's your chance, the little red subscribe button at the bottom. If you hit it, you'll be a subscriber. Welcome to Matt the Carguy family. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.